Knoll just fell underneath.
Crossover Calvin, look at that move, and he gets the roll.
Hubricks and Brown are out. Inbounds pass, Calvin.
And it was just taking the ball right away and going up for an easy layup. Wright State, in essence, has just given them 4 points. Coach Nagy can't be happy about that because they're shooting such a high well percentage.
Jackson putting a lot of ball pressure on Calvin as he brings it into the offensive end. He tried to split the double team, gets it back and lays it in.
All right, the free throw was good by Trey Calvin. 54-44, then the Rams turn it over. Here comes Calvin in the front court, scoops it up and in.
All Missouri Valley, and we've seen it not necessarily because of his scoring average, just he is so athletic. Everything he could do with the ball, off the ball, defensively, just an all-around solid player.
Calvin.
Joel Scott driving left down the lane, nearly lost it out of bounds, chucks it into the backcourt, chased down by Calvin, drives right in the paint, lays it up and in. Few bricks up between the rings, slings it to Calvin on the right side, trying to drive on Strong, cross him over, got right down the lane, floater is...
You know it as he struggled to get going from three, but watch him defend consistently every possession. He's trying to front in the post. There's nobody home to help and double off that top-down pass.
Into the paint, rush. Knoll in the paint, kicked out. Good look, Calvin for three.
Louisiana could just play defense for a stop here. They don't have to foul.
Oh, almost lost it. Calvin lays.
Mugged inside the paint.
Isaiah Stevens might have a double-double by halftime, Adam.
He's working on some sort of game right now.
Calvin baseline.
It is because of the dribble drive. I mean, they take you off the dribble.
Calvin, catch and shoot three, got it. Ready
to go. He has 17 tonight. Off a Hubrick screen, still has it out front against Stevens, fires the triple.
And Louisiana regains the lead. Calvin changes direction, fades in, got the roll.
Hubricks back out front. 5 minutes to go here in the second half of play. Trey Calvin trying to turn the corner on Stevens. Steps in, tough shot.
Great for the easy shot.
Carter's first two off the bench, and a steal by Calvin. He'll take it all the way and lay it in off the glass for two.
Off the heel, rebound tip for Carter, got a piece of it, kept it alive.
On the wing, back out front to Woods. Left sideline, Calvin with 8 to shoot. Calvin rises, baseline jumper, got it. Tough. Back over to Brown. Now it's Calvin, catch and shoot three. Oh! Hand misses it. Rebound Braun. Quickly outlet pass to Calvin. Calvin to the free throw line. Floater, got it.
Calvin curling around, well defended, now fades and hits.
Back outside the three-point line into Calvin. Calvin off a double team, pull-up jumper, mid-range, got it.
Time to go, though.
Bounce pass to Holden at the free throw line. Calvin was all alone. That's easy.
Back to a 4-point lead for Toledo with 2:23 left. Calvin off the dribble against Wilson. He goes up from the free throw line, and he not.
Yeah, that would have been huge out of the timeout. Woods able to collect the rebound for the Raiders. There's a nice drive.
Toledo on top.
You just got to make sure you get a good shot here. You don't need a three. You just got to make sure you get a good shot.
Calvin runner with the right hand, rolls around and in.
That's pretty good.
Into the corner, 4 to shoot. Calvin's got to hurry. Fade away 2. Ball.
Doesn't have a view of that.
Braun in the corner, hands to Calvin. Look out, he can shoot from there. And he will. Look at the ankle.
Has just been so solid for Wright State in their first 2 games.
I agree. Is Calvin
energy that Illinois State has shown here in Estero, just coming out both games, super high, and the air just went out. And I was curious how they would respond to that. And so far, so good.
Yeah, Hofstra hit some big shots in the final few minutes.
10 to shoot for Calvin. Step back, pull up around the free throw line.
Hubricks dribbling, gets it to Calvin. Lewis picks him up. He'll blow by him. Floater is.
State lost to High Point. You know, these games start to blend in a little bit.
First points, assists, double-double since John Axel Goodmanson in 2019 on Wednesday.
Yeah, 11 assists. That's a career high for him.
He's got away with a little bit of a push-off. Good no call, though.
Calvin
Over to KK Brown. Brown, middle of the floor, off to Calvin. Open from 3.
5 days inside that resort before they'll fly. All the teams will fly home tomorrow morning. All the teams for our Women's Gulf Coast Showcases. Oh, gosh.
Talking to the Wright State guys at halftime, Holden was the name that.
Fresh off a career-high 18 points against Charlotte. At one point had 11 straight in the second.
Everything. Shot clock had reset, even though it didn't appear to touch the rim. Durkin made sure it didn't matter.
Clever.
After Reed Bailey was able to scoop up the ball, it was kind of slipping away down there as both teams struggled to control it.
One of those two really needs to start taking over here and take some momentum into the locker room. 8 minutes to go.
Trey Calvin off the dribble and on cue from the elbow. It's good.
Calvin now steps back, and he hit.
Push it in transition. Hubricks off the dribble behind the back of the free throw line. Open is Calvin. Now he doesn't shoot the 3. Mid-range jumper is good.
Here's Calvin, quick trigger 3, nails it.
Verbally fall. They just have to continue playing their game. I know that sounds cliche, but we'll see what message Coach Nagy delivered during that timeout.
Calvin off the dribble, goes down into the paint, up off the glass and scores.
It in.
Braun, Calvin takes the 3, gets it back to Braun, down in the post, working against Ume. Back to Calvin, sets up for 3, got it by Calvin. Raiders with the ball and a 7-point lead. Calvin, floater in the paint, hits the front of the iron.
Knew that Drew Lutz was going to be special, but McBride, he's playing maybe one of his best games, if not his best game of the season.
Trey Calvin. A.J. Braun, inbounds pass. Goes right wing. Calvin, lane line, spin McBride. Fade away. Hubricks to the middle of the floor. McHenry pressuring him. Back to Trey Calvin. Calvin takes it into the paint. Little floater is good. The shot clock. Hubricks driving at the right lane line. Needs some help. He feeds it back to Calvin. Calvin gets his man in the air, steps inside the three-point line, and knocks.
Conversations with him, Chris. You know he's pleased with how fast they've come out here offensively.
Mid-range jump shot is. Here's Wellage. Stops head of the key. Calvin will fire the 3. Pass, but Holden able to come up with it. Give it to Calvin. Calvin off the dribble, into the corner, stop and go underneath. The layup is good.
And it's just good team basketball on the offensive end for Western Kentucky.
Calvin bringing the ball up against the pressure from Jackson. Hands it off to Wellage. He picks up his dribble, backdoor to Calvin. His layup and goaltending. Gets a screen from Carter. Now he's double teamed out front. Throws it down, right wing. Calvin, and it gets McHenry. Little floater inside the paint. Western Kentucky shooting 59% in the second half. Calvin one-on-one against McHenry. Fade away on the baseline is good. Calvin out high. Now it's Holden. Holden gets it over to Calvin. Calvin dribbling into the paint. Jump shot.
He goes out with that foul. Landers still on the sideline with the injury.
Calvin, little scoop move. A little giving.
With his energy, and he's finished plays.
Calvin from 30. No problem.
Now Holden deep in the right corner. Holden finds Calvin under the bucket. Puts it up and scores. He's got...
Gets it.
It was a bad shot, but he kind of caught it and hesitated. If he would have stepped into it aggressively and let it fly, I think there would have been a different result for the shot. But if you're going to hesitate, you can't let it fly.
Cut it to within a 10-point game, maybe make it a single-digit game here.
Well, it's Calvin for 3. He got it. For a minute to play, 86-78 Phoenix. Here's Calvin, step back 3. It's good from the right corner. Now it's Dre Carter against Hall. Carter back out front to Calvin, who has yet to take a shot from outside. Goes in with a floater, gets it to roll around earlier this year, and the lead is up to 9 on the road for the Phoenix. Pull-up jumper, Calvin is good from the free throw. Now it's Calvin, dribble drive, goes inside around his man. The layup is good. Under 10 minutes to play, 65-49 Phoenix. Now Calvin with a hard dribble, trying to get around his man on the baseline, puts up the shot and rolls it in. Wanders now with another three-pointer. Calvin, pull up on the baseline is good.
Runs, sprints the court, post up, works you inside out for an easy-looking 3.
And Calvin knocks before halftime. It's been Wright State's lead the entirety of the game. Calvin from 15 in trap. Calvin for 3. Yes, sir.
For the miss. And now it's Calvin from the corner. At 2,300 points, but he's going to have to get some work in the meantime. Here is Calvin, and what you got to be worried about the most is, like, say, tomorrow, right? After it gets unwrapped in a day of rest. How about Trey? Braun, who kicks it back out to the perimeter. Now it's Calvin for 3, and he gets...
Defensive rebounding ability.
There's Calvin to the